Hi, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of Season 2 of Dungeons and Deductibles. Yay! Everybody wave! If you're new to Dungeons and Deductibles, this is a really kind of goofy concept. This is a show about a team of fantasy insurance claims adjusters based out of Waterdeep, and they work for a firm called Waterdavian Farm. And no, that's totally not a play on an existing insurance company. What would give you that idea? Today I am joined by my lovely players. We have 3 returning players and 1 new player, which is exciting. And I'm going to go ahead and, players, I would like you to go ahead and, at this time, introduce yourself and introduce your character. Tell people, their name, what it is that they do at Waterdavian Farm, if you know, and what class they are and race. Any other information you want to include. And we will start, we're just going to go clockwise from me, so we will start with Cintu.
Hi, I'm Cintu, and if I ever remember to log into Twitter, you can find me there as I am Cintu. Today I'll be playing Mildred Crabtree, who is a gnome monk. She's a drunken master monk, only not really so much drunk as klutzy. Last season, she was turned blue by Poppy as part of a wild magic surge, and it just never went away. So I spent all of last season wearing entirely the wrong clothes for my coloring. And what else can I say? Mildred used to be a courier, and now she works in the claims department. That was a promotion last year, so she's probably not going to get another promotion anytime soon. If ever.
Maybe. Next up is Jake.
Hi, everyone. I apologize for my nasally sound. I'm getting over a head cold, but I will be playing Red Fireson, the Fire Genasi warlock, and he's new to the company, so we'll figure out what he will be doing as a new hire. He's got a pretty rail-thin, moderately tall, he's got a big bushy beard, and like many Genasi, when the heart rate goes up, the beard catches fire and stuff like that. There's a few other things, but I'm excited to play.
Awesome.
Did I miss anything?
No, I think that's good.
Okay.
Some great Genasi action right there. Beard's on fire. I love it.
This beard is on fire.
Oh man, we're already getting started. This is good. Okay. Robert, next up.
All right. I am Robert, otherwise known around here as KY Hawkeye or Hawkeye, and I will be playing Scandalon Obadias IV. He is a protector Asimar. He is a paladin serving Helm, the god of light. He's at Waterdavian Farm, not necessarily initially by choice. He was on a noble quest for his temple, was the only one survivor that came back. And someone on the not so good side of alignment type of thinking rigged the paperwork that required as part of the claim that I was going to work in the claims department for 1 calendar year. Later on, we found those altered files, but based on the results of what happened with the board, the temple and I have decided that I need to stay on just in case we need to root any other evil stuff out. And I think I'm already going to be starting some detecting already based on who's the new person joining the firm.
We'll see. We'll get to that. And last but definitely not least, Hannah.
Hi, everybody. I'm Hannah. I am Asbestos and Tostitos smushed together on Twitter. And I am playing the Warlock of Mayhem. Her name is Poppy. And she initially was the personal assistant of Mr. Mayhem. And that was a lot. And she moved departments because it gets a bit much. And then there was the whole situation last season, and now she works as the head of HR, which is very interesting now. We're going to see how interesting it is.
Yes,
She should not have been given this position, but it's funny. So
We're all gonna die. Send help.
Well, since you have already brought that up, so the first thing we're going to cover today, I'm going to do a quick recap of season 1 for anyone who's watching and did not manage to catch our first season, and then we're going to talk about what happened. There was about a month of downtime in between the first season and the second season, so we're going to cover a little bit of what our returning players have been doing in the interim. So the quick recap for everyone from last season, our intrepid team of adjusters, they saved a farm from some raiding orcs who it turned out were being menaced by a chimera. They went on a little trip with a lich businesswoman who made bespoke dungeons and tombs for the very wealthy, complete with traps. They dealt with a dragon who collided with an airship and tried to figure out who was at fault for the collision. So they had a really nice spread of different cases, and while all that was going on, there was something fishy going on back at Waterdavian Farm itself, as all of the board members, who are totally not ripoffs of famous insurance mascots, were disappearing, essentially. And every time one of them disappeared, Poppy was experiencing a kind of surge to her magic, which Mayhem, the CEO of the company, was her warlock patron. So they pieced together that something bad was definitely going down. And at the end of last season, they confronted Mayhem and Floria, another member of the board, in the secret sub-basement beneath the Waterdavian Farm building, where they learned that Floria had freed Mayhem. He was actually some kind of eldritch fae creature who had been imprisoned in the Feywild by the Queens of Fairy. And she had freed him on the terms of a deal that he would help her acquire and accumulate power. And he was simply fulfilling the terms of the deal by devouring, digesting, and then returning the power of the other board members. And so they interrupted one of these rituals in action. They managed to kill Floria, but they were not quite ready to tackle Mayhem himself, who actually encouraged them to kill Floria because he wanted to be free of his deal. And so he got away with a promise that he would return for Poppy when she was ready. So that was what happened at the end of season 1. With the management of the company gone, essentially, they learned that written into the wills and the business succession plan was that whosoever killed the previous board members would then inherit the company. And as it turned out, with Floria being the last board member standing, our previous cast member, Mork, played by Nat, was the person who delivered the final blow and thus inherited the company. So Mork is now the new CEO of Waterdavian Farm. And the last month has been quite a month of turmoil for the company, as you might imagine. You were not really able to keep secret some of the details of what happened with the board. There was an inspection by the legal authorities in Waterdeep. No one outside the board was really found guilty of any wrongdoing, but it definitely tainted the perception of the company, even more than it was already tainted by being an insurance firm. And a lot of people chose to leave at that time, just because they didn't want to have anything to do with it. And everything has been kind of understaffed for the last month as these people have gone. Mork is doing his best to keep everything together, but as anyone who watched last season knows, Mork is an anxious hobgoblin, and not always best in those kinds of circumstances, even though he's very smart. And so he has made a few questionable decisions, but overall has managed to keep the company at least together for now. For the 3 returning players, I'm going to give you each a chance to quickly describe what it is that you've spent your last month doing. We'll start with Poppy because she's already touched on one of the things that she's done, which is bullying Mork into making her head of HR. So Poppy, if there's anything else you'd like to share about what you've done with your month of downtime, please feel free.
Well, during my month of downtime, I have been trying to, get into my new job as the new head of HR. It's a lot to get used to, shake it up, disrupt, hashtag disrupt. We've been trying to get Mildred some new clothes, been fixing that blue thing. It's not going away. I'm not sure if that's ever going to go away, but it's fine. I've started floating all the time. That's just not going away either. I don't know why. My psychiatrist tells me that it's a projection of my stress. That if I kind of try to center myself and find out what makes me calm down, I'll stop floating all the time. And it's just a little bit off the floor at all times. It makes it a little more difficult to get off the floor, which makes me more stressed. It's fine. It's not like there's some horrifying monster that's connected to me at all.
No, that's definitely not related to the hovering in any possible way.
No, it's fine. Yeah, so it's been great. I like the new office. Karen's not a fan.
No, Karen is not a fan. We're gonna get
Karen's
to that.
not a fan. But things have been going pretty okay. I haven't, killed anybody yet, which is great, especially since I'm the head of HR. You never want to be doing that when you're the head of HR. So,
And Poppy, when you became head of HR, a couple things happened. The first thing that happened was there were several people that quit.
Not like there's any correlation.
Yeah, there's definitely no
or
relation.
Causation.
That was completely unrelated. It was just a coincidence of timing. But
these things happen when there's big turnovers in the company. It's a natural progression.
yeah, I'm sure that's what you're
reflection
telling
on
yourself. But deep down, you're wondering if it was personal.
But we don't criticize new management until it's had a chance to let its policies take effect.
But so I mentioned earlier that, a lot of the departments are understaffed. Yours is probably the most understaffed at this point.
Also coincidence.
Yeah, totally coincidence. Scandalon, what have you been doing for the last month?
Well, for the past month, Scandalon, after it was mutually agreed upon with the heads of the temple and myself for me to stay on at Waterdavian Farm in case there was any other portals to things as evil or more evil than Mayhem. He has been helping out, helping with organization, stuff like that, where he can, giving him an excuse that as he goes, he's been casting Detect Good and Evil all over the building and on anyone he sees, just to make sure what's going on and where everybody stands. Simply because, one, we really can't afford the company really couldn't afford another scandal like that. And two, if something like that is happening, my temple would definitely like to know.
That's fair.
Otherwise, there was a small break where I went on a quest for the temple. I was able to get some time off for that and was able to retrieve a holy relic, a sacred weapon, or at least weapon sacred to the temple, the flaming flail of Philemon, which is now in the temple's custody, where it can be safe and not used by anyone for improper reasons.
Yeah, solid work.
And otherwise, settling down, preparing for any other investigations that need to be done, and on his own, after being introduced by Mort to the greatest food substance ever known to man, the taco, he has been making his own little map of all of the taco stand and restaurant locations and ranking them so he knows wherever he is in the city what he can find, where, and how good it's going to be.
Are you gonna make that are you writing a little broadsheet that's all the best taco places that you're gonna hand
Eventually, he will publish it as a pamphlet with all profits, of course, going to the temple.
out? Huh, that's a great idea. So I also love the mental image of you just wandering around Waterdavian Farm, which is a very grim kind of place, big blocky stone building. And even the elevator isn't cheery anymore because y'all freed Sam, the levitator bard, who so there's no longer music in the
Yeah, didn't he get promoted to public relations after that?
Yeah, I don't know about that. But he's definitely free now and no longer bound to the elevator. And so, yeah, I just have this image of you walking down these grim hallways like a little beeping evil detector. So far, you have not uncovered anything too untoward. Yeah, exactly.
What is? Oh, it's a flamingo.
But you do still have that lingering concern that you heard Mayhem's words to Poppy. You know that there is a distinct possibility that something bad could still happen.
When he is back, I will be ready.
Exactly. Mildred, what have you been doing for a month?
Well, as I'm new to claims, I definitely stayed in claims rather than being promoted like Poppy, although she was fairly new too. But I don't have her chutzpah. So I spent the last month or so taking classes at Waterdavian Community College. Every class I could schedule into my day, regardless of what the topic was. I love to learn things. And I also, with Poppy's excellent help in our off hours and occasional lunch hours, did some shopping. So now I no longer am dressing for colors that are not mine. I'm leaning into the blue.
Smart. Since
I actually look kind of sharp. Huh?
Since it definitely doesn't seem to be going away, probably a good decision.
It really doesn't. As a matter of fact, in the warmer weather, with some sunshine, it's gotten a little brighter. So it apparently is here to stay, and I'm just sort of playing to it now as opposed to wishing that I could get my brown back.
Awesome.
What else? Did I say I was doing anything else?
I don't think so. I think that's all you told me.
Nope, just classes and a makeover.
All right. And last but not least, so Red, you are new to the company, and actually we're going to pick up on your first day at Waterdavian Farm, but would you care to share why you've come to join Waterdavian Farm?
Oh, I just, I was an adventurer, and I was going around seeing all the destruction and chaos and mayhem, I guess you could say, that was happening from various adventures. And, it's just hard to imagine what would happen after we left. That fireball that blew off the side of a game room for this family, or a church that burned down because we exorcised a ghost out of it. And it's just, I wanted to kind of see the other side and find something that was just more mellow, and I could help people.
Yeah, this is definitely, you're going to the other side of things, right? You're seeing the aftermath of what happens when adventurers roll through, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. So we are going to pick up with the action. Today is a day, for the most part, just like any other, for those of you who are working at the company. So, Poppy, we're going to leave you out for just a smidge of time while we since you are now in HR, but don't worry, we'll get to that.
He needs his new hire packet.
Oh, don't worry. Don't worry, I got this. So, Mildred and Scandalon, the two of you come into the office like you normally do, with your little cubicles with your name on them. You get your breakfast like you normally do. There is still stale instant oatmeal in the break room available for the taking should you want it. That has not changed. Mork has kept that Waterdavian Farm tradition alive and well. And after you've had a chance to, get your coffee, get a little bit to eat, you see your typical note from Karen, your manager, is on your desk. And it's the usual, come meet me in the conference room to get your next assignment. Sort of what typically happens when you've got a new case. And when you get to the conference room, Karen is there, as usual, with her blonde hair and her clipboard and her high heels crossed, while she waits for you very, very impatiently, as she does. But she is not alone today. Seated in the room as well is this fire genasi that you've never seen before. And when Karen sees the two of you in the doorway, she looks up and she says, "Oh, good, you're here. Please come in, have a seat. We have a lot to cover this morning, and I don't want to take too much time, so just come in and sit down."
Go in and I pull out the little step stool so I can get on the big people chairs, and I sit very nicely with my notebook and pen at the ready.
Oh, no.
We are on time, by the way, because Poppy's not with us.
Can I just note, as my first act of HR, is I made this whole entire building small races accessible.
Yes, that is
very accessible for the smaller races now.
That is a great first action. I approve.
Yes.
So you can sit
Best
in one of the
HR
new
director
chairs
ever.
for small people. So when you all sit down, Karen looks over at Red and says, "Okay, first item of business. I apologize for the delay. We've been having some staffing issues lately, and with
It's okay.
But we have finally gotten an additional person for your team. This is Red. This is Mildred and Scandalon. Mildred and Scandalon work here in the claims department. They're going to be your teammates. Red has applied to join the firm. He's got a great adventuring background, so it seems like a really good fit. We are hoping that this will work out. So I want the two of you to take Red under your wing, be gentle, but teach him the ropes of, how to handle a case."
So Red stands up and shakes your hands and starts shaking them rather vigorously, but you can kind of tell with any amount of insight that social norms kind of click into his head, and he shakes a lot less vigorously. But he's very excited and very, just very excited to meet you guys.
Once the vigorous shaking has stopped, I put my glasses back in order. "It's lovely to meet you, Red. Welcome to the team. As the senior team member, I would like to formally extend a welcome and congratulations for your hire."
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. I'm just so happy to get started and see how this works. It's so fascinating. This whole building's amazing and just blocky, and there's so many doors, and you just don't see that unless you go, to a really big dungeon or something. But I'm just so excited to be here. Thank you so much.
Robert,
You're muted, Scandalon.
Welcome to the team, Red. We look forward to having you join us.
Thank you so much. I can't wait to learn from both of you.
Well, you're going to have a good opportunity because I have what's your first case and your next case for the two of you who are already here. And she pulls out a stack of manila folders, the very stereotypical manila folder that you normally see in business situations. And she passes one of these folders out to each of you, and this contains the details for your next case. So I will put this in the Zoom chat so that all of you can review it. Hang on, there it is. And as you're perusing this and taking a look at it, Karen sort of gives you the rundown synopsis, and so she says, the client is Zephyr Sarn. She's a fairly new client for us. She's only been with us for a couple of months, and she has a business named Sarn's Yarns that she sells colored yarns, dyed yarns, anything yarn adjacent, knitting needles, that sort of thing. And it's all stored in her warehouse down in the trade ward. Unfortunately, 2 nights ago, her warehouse was burned down, and all of her product was inside. So I need the 3 of you to go down to the warehouse, take a look around, assess the damages, make sure everything is in order, that we can pay out on the claim. And it should be a fairly straightforward case, very easy one to start on, Red. It should be pretty simple for them to walk you through and for you to get your hands around the business.
Excellent.
Thank you very much, Karen. We
You're
appreciate
welcome,
it.
but we're not done.
Oh,
So,
sit back down.
No, unfortunately, there's more. It is time for performance reviews.
This is the best
Oh,
way
really?
ever.
As you may know, our HR department is a little bit understaffed at this time. So unfortunately, your performance review is going to be conducted by a familiar face. And at this point, you see a very familiar face in the doorway.
I start smiling real big.
There's Poppy hovering slightly off the ground.
Just like enough to make it be like, I mean, why? What's even the point at that point? It just makes things a little bit more difficult. But I've got a system worked out. It's fine. So I come in and I want you to imagine whatever the like Forgotten Realms version of an 80s power suit is with the shoulder pads.
Oh, my heart.
And the power hair, but like fantasy. She's got that going on. Last season, I did get de-aged 8 years, which erased all the stress lines from working for Mr. Mayhem. They're back. It's just they're all there in a month again. So it looks like isn't even like nothing happened. She goes, well, hey guys, how are you guys doing? I'm so I never get to come down here anymore. I'm so excited to see you.
Hi.
Good to see you again.
It's good to see you. I need to get your orientation packet. Hello, Karen.
Hello, Poppy.
All right, so do we want to get started?
Yeah.
The sooner we get this done, the better.
So Poppy will be following you around for the remainder of this week as you are evaluated. And Karen turns to you, Red, and she goes, "Not you, dear. You're new,
okay.
So
No, you're new. You don't get this yet. It's trial by fire. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that. It's
happens.
Yeah, it's a bit of a hard run at it. That sounds better. Yeah, so gonna be just
I look to see if I've got a silent spell, but I don't think I
It takes 10 minutes to cast, which is unfortunate.
And normally we wouldn't do it like this because we did used to be on the same team, but sometimes we have to make some adjustments, and so just pretend like I'm not there. It'll be fine. So I'm just gonna be in the background, just making some comments. So
I'm sure you'll be nothing but objective.
She makes a note on her clipboard when he says that.
It'll be almost like old times.
By the way, that shade of blue looks so good on you.
Well, you should think so. You helped me pick it out.
I know.
Karen just
Have you
sits at
given
the
them
table.
their thing, Karen?
No, there's no thing. Everything's fine.
Are you sure, Karen?
Yeah, I'm sure, Poppy.
All right. And I just sit there hovering in the doorway menacingly.
With a clipboard. if there's no further questions, and Kara's very pointedly ignoring Poppy at this point, like very deliberately not meeting her gaze. If there are no further questions, then you can head out. Just remember, whenever you're done, you have paperwork to submit. Red will guide you through it, don't worry. And yeah, I will see you when you get back.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Ms. Karen.
You're welcome. Have
Thank
a great
you,
day.
Karen.
I'll take good care of our new person.
Good.
I want to flip through a couple of my sheets and like look at Karen and then make a note on that sheet and then flip them all back.
Karen just has this smile plastered on her face as you do that. Like, everything's fine. I'm okay. There's nothing wrong with this situation. I don't hate that she's judging me. Just like
fine.
really fake.
Are there
One of these days, we're going to have to test to see if that's an illusion. That smile's an illusion spell.
It very
are
well
there
might
like
be.
still axe beak marks in here?
No, the speak marks have been buffed out.
Okay. Just curious.
No, it's a good question. Yeah, so the four of you are free to whatever you want to do first.
Well, I suppose we need to head out to
The store, I agree.
to this place that filed the claim.
But first the company store, right?
Oh, that's true. I forgot about the company store. It'd be a good idea to show.
You never know what
Not too
useful
right.
thing you might find.
I'm going to write down, as she says, company store, instead of going to the thing, I'll write something down on my clipboard. Because interesting choice. All right.
What the company store? Like, is that just emergency supplies or what is?
I am so sorry you haven't gotten your orientation packet. It's all in there. Hold on.
And then I'm going to flip through a bunch of my papers and just like go, "Meh." And then I spit out a big chunk of papers and I hand it to him.
There's the employee manual in there. There's a map of the building, and just tells you about your hours and, you know, the insurance situation. For health insurance, there is none. Just some liability paperwork in there, your direct deposit. So just get that to me as soon as possible so we can get you on board. But yes, there is, and it tells you about what we got down there. We have a cafe and some nice branded materials. It's very good.
Okay, this is it'll probably take me a few nights to go through this, but I don't have I don't know if anyone told you I don't have any official paperwork. As you can imagine, it's hard to keep things that are flammable from staying in their original condition. Since when I was a kid, it's under control now. When I was a kid, as you can imagine, you get upset about things and have less control over yourself, and any birth certificate or anything like that has long been destroyed. Now I just laminate everything. So
Well, you know what we're going to do with that is you're going to have to take a day off sometime this week and go to the city hall and try to get all of that. And if you can't, we have some just wonderful counterfeiters. It'll be fine. So that, we can get you settled in that way.
So, okay. All right. Yeah. Cause okay.
It's okay because we have other Genasi who work here. I think that the company store might have a solution. They have pens that can do just about anything.
Oh, cool.
Of course, they cost the earth, but that's the way it is.
The earth. Is that a dragon or is that
The
like coin?
the soil you stand on,
Oh,
the world.
I get it. Okay. Sometimes right over.
They cost a mint.
Okay. I think I get it.
The words company and discount don't exactly coexist in this building.
Oh, no, of course not. There is no company discount. That would be silly.
Is that just for higher ups or is that something we earn or?
Oh, no, no, not at all. There are no benefits here, and if you do die during an incident, we do issue your family a very nice bouquet of flowers for the funeral.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't plan on dying, so that should be fine.
Well, none of us do.
You'll be fine.
Okay. I'm excited to be here.
We'll take the levitator down. You know what? I'm going to stop and change out of these cute shoes and go for my tromping shoes, just in case.
I am wearing the boots of silly walks, but since I can't walk anymore, since I'm always levitating, I'm just...
Can is happening right here.
They're just boots.
I completely forgot about the boots of silly walks.
How could you forget those?
It's been a long couple of months. Yeah, so Mildred, you can go put on your other boots. You can stop.
City tromping shoes.
Yeah, you can stop in your cube and change anything out. Red, you noticed when you all stop by Mildred's cube that your cube is right next to hers. It's got a little placard that has your name on it.
Cool.
And there's
official.
And Mildred's like, this one's Mork's desk. Well, it was.
Bless you.
I guess it's your desk now. Bless you. Poppy, do you need to cast a spell?
Bless you, and I'm not casting.
Thank you.
Do you need to cast a spell? That sounds pretty bad.
It's fine.
Maybe levitating is new to you? Is that the thing?
I'm allergic to middle management. It's fine. I get like this every time I'm around Karen now.
Oh my god! Oh my.
So is Karen
He broke into.
Deceased.
So I noticed you and Karen have was there tension or is everything okay between you two?
Well, Karen used to be my direct supervisor, and we didn't really see eye to eye. She was kind of a perfectionist, and I kind of sometimes accidentally create horrifying magical abilities without asking, without meaning to. There was a couple of instances with some axe beaks that, I'm not, no one really was at fault for those, but she was very upset about those specific instances.
Personally, I welcomed the chance to learn to ice skate.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of, it's some growing pains. So, she's not, well, I'm HR, so I'm not supposed to gossip. So, well, it's not gossip. It's just facts that she's very
it's just history.
Yes. So, it's, but we're getting over it. It's getting better.
Okay.
You just have to remember, Red, she's not one to go around and spread gossip, so you better make sure you listen close the first time. She's not going to repeat it.
Fair enough. Okay. And Red is just very much hanging on every one of your words, all of you. Trying not to miss anything.
Why we like him.
By the way, Red, just so you're, for context, the employee handbook is extremely large.
It is.
And
Yeah.
rather cumbersome. And it just at a quick glance through it, it is filled with legalese. Like, these sentences are easily a paragraph long, every one of them. It's going to be some pretty dense reading material when you finally get around to it.
Okay. Yeah, he's got like a in his coat, he's got a place for his book of shadows, and when he sets the manual down, he kind of looks at that and then looks at the manual and just kind of making a note before heading out with you guys, but he leaves the manual on his desk and waits to see if anyone says anything. But
do I see him leave his manual on his desk?
Are you trying to be sneaky about it, or are you being?
No, I'm just like more of like I'm gonna act like this is okay, so no one thinks I'm trying to get away with anything.
Okay. Then yeah, you would see him.
I'm going to make a note.
Now, it's really heavy, and I'm not under review.
No, you're not. No, that's fine. Don't worry. It's like I'm not even here.
Okay. Okay.
You know, sometimes there will be some, random grease. Sometimes someone will turn blue or green. Sometimes there will be a random explosion. Just pretend like it's not there. I'll just be back here, just here.
Okay. On that same note, if my beard catches fire, just do the same. I get it under control.
No, absolutely. We have, we're our workforce. We have all sorts of people here. Who have, all sorts of accommodations. So, the beard fire is nothing new.
Okay, fantastic. Oh, company store then?
Yes. Follow me this way. And don't worry about the employee manual. I have a copy with me. Pull out the quite small, piece of, looks like just a piece of paper, and it's scrolls up like an iPhone.
Wow. Got that enchanted?
Company store.
Wow. That's cool.
So you head downstairs to the company store. Are you taking the stairs or are you taking the levitator?
I start heading for the stairs, but then I pause and ask the fellas if they would like to take the elevator instead. It's not quite the same as it used to be, but it still works.
But what? I mean, I'll follow guys.
Let's show them how the levitators work.
Okay.
Okay. So you take the levitator. It works. When you press the button, you know how normally in an elevator it makes like a dinging noise when it arrives. The noise that this makes is not a ding. It's more of a low bong, very ominous sound. Anytime the elevator arrives, levitator, elevator, interchangeable. And when you go inside, you do notice that in the corner, and Red, you would not know exactly what this is for, but Mildred, Poppy, and Scandalon, this is where Sam used to be. There is a little bouquet of flowers that someone has left there as a memorial.
There's a little plaque.
Yeah, in loving memory. Although he's not dead, but he's just not here anymore. So there's a little tribute.
He just ran. He just booked it.
So, is this? Did you guys know this in loving memory?
Sam was wonderful.
He was great. Oh, he could play any instrument.
Any instrument. And he knew so many different songs. You couldn't name a song he didn't know how to play.
Oh, we miss him every day.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Oh, well, he's not dead. He just ran away. He was cursed to be here, and now I think he lives in where did you hear he last? He said somewhere warm. I hope he's happy wherever he is.
Oh.
I think he went inland to the Star Meadow Hills.
Yeah. We do need to get around cursing another musician. I think that would really help morale.
I could possibly help with that.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know many musicians that are worthy of curses or just, easily tricked?
No,
yeah,
I mean...
Scandalon starts to take notes.
I don't know many musicians that need to be cursed, but I could possibly figure something out with the curse if we needed to do that.
Well, you and I are going to talk later because that is a hiring issue technically. So let's put a pin in that. Yeah.
Oh well, yeah. I was just trying to. You suggested that we could curse somebody. I'm just trying to help. We don't have to curse anybody.
No. That's how you get them to stay in the elevator. So we'll put a pin in that. That's actually very helpful. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm gonna, put it. Make a little note, on another straight piece of paper that I just kind of pull out of nowhere and just go. And I tuck it back in wherever I pulled it from.
Yeah, he went from scared that he had made a misstep to happy that you told him it's a good thing.
On that note,
Was that the bra of holding, Hannah?
Is it the bra of holding, Danielle?
I mean, I guess it can be.
Yay! I'm putting it in my inventory right now. She's like, damn it.
This is far from the worst thing a player has asked me for, and probably one of the more amusing ones. So, bra of holding it is. That seems like a legit item, and in fact, I would love to have one. So that's
Right.
it's fine. So the elevator.
She got that down at JC Coppers over our lunch hour.
Okay. That's pretty good.
Really good.
I
good.
apologize, viewers, but not really.
Not
No,
really,
don't
'cause that was really
apologize.
excellent. Yes, they're a staple at JC Coppers. Okay, so you reach the bottom of the elevator, and there's another one of those loud, like, bong noises as the elevator doors open. And you head out into the lowest floor of the building, with Mildred leading the way, and she's very excited to go to the store. And she leads
Very excited.
Yes, and she leads you around a couple of corners, and you reach an area of the interior of the building that's been made up just like a storefront. So it's almost like turning the corner in a mall, and like, there's the JC Coppers, right? And the sign above the door says the Waterdhavian Farm Company store, and inside you can see a whole plethora of different items. These run the gamut from basic adventuring items to the sort of traditional corporate tchotchkes that you would expect to see. Almost everything in sight has the Waterdhavian Farm logo on it. And the Waterdhavian Farm logo is not comfortable to look at. Like, it's distinctly unnerving. So everything in this store is distinctly unnerving to some degree.
What's going on with the logo? Like, it's just, how does it?
They got an
look?
eldritch graphic designer.
Okay.
It basically looks like it could be the cover of a heavy metal artist's album.
Oh. Well, some of this logo looks familiar. Kind of, and he pulls out his book and just kind of holds it up to the logo, and his book of shadows is leather bound, but it's got carving in it in not obviously not common. So
Can I see what? Can I see that front of this cover? Can I read it? Does it look familiar to me?
Can you read? I guess it would be deep speech.
I cannot read deep speech. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, so does not look familiar to you, Poppy. Red, as you're perusing your Tome of Shadows, knowing that this logo does seem strangely familiar to you, and just kind of paging through, you do find a symbol in your tome that looks very similar.
Okay, he he kind of pauses when he sees that and makes a mental note to check it later. But other than that, he closes his book and puts it away and just kind of keeps looking around the store.
Okay. Yeah, and there's all kinds of stuff here. I mean, as Mildred said before, there's, pens, but there's even, weapons and stuff here too. Like, there are little swords that have the Waterdhavian Farm logo carved down near the hilt on the blade, for example. Almost like a maker's mark.
This is also where I got my abracadabracus.
Yes, and deeper inside the store, you can also see You know how shops these days have those like store within a store experiences? Like there's one of those in here, and you can see that the store inside the store has a big flashing sign that's got some kind of light spell or continual flame or something that's flashing, and it says the Waterdavian Farm Eldritch Fun Store TM.
Oh yeah, I'd go right in there.
And yeah, and as you move in, and you can see this is where they keep the magic items. So anything that is a specific magic item, maybe like Mildred's Abracadabricus, for instance, is kept here in glass cases with little tags that say what the item is and what it does, and a rough approximation of cost. Some of the items are marked price upon request, which does seem suspicious. Probably expensive.
So some of the common items in the other part of the store, have I been seeing like prices that were exorbitantly, above what I'm used to seeing?
Yeah,
Okay.
Everything in here is wildly expensive. Unnecessarily and wildly expensive.
Right. So like a cooking pot or something, it's like 3 times as much, or
Yeah, it's something somewhere on the neighborhood of twice as much at least.
okay.
You see some variance in that there's like the occasional thing that looks like it might be like 3 or 4 times the price.
Oh my goodness.
Arbitrarily.
I forget, is that also the case with the magic items or just the ordinaries?
It seems to be less the case with the magic items, but definitely for the ordinaries. The magic
But
items
we could get better if we could find another place for it.
Oh, probably. The advantage of the Waterdavian Farm Company store is that you can purchase things here pre-tax. That would be in your employee handbook.
Nice.
Probably you'd have to work out the math on how much of a benefit that actually is.
Right.
Can I retroactively have done that over the last month?
Yeah, sure. If you want that to be in your downtime activities.
Taxes would have to be insane for that to make.
Yeah, it's not. No, it is definitely not. You think that that's
egregious.
designed to fool someone who maybe
Sure.
wouldn't look into it any more than that? And they're like, oh, I'm getting
Yeah.
such a great deal, but really they're not. And
Right.
It's definitely a money earning tool for the company to make money off of its own employees. Think very much in the vein of like the old company stores that like mining towns used to have.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
I was just to say it's.
You literally can pay with your soul.
That's true. You can literally pay with your soul.
Oh.
Well, you used to be able to. More practices.
Fix that.
Yeah, that practice is no longer in play.
It was a company policy we backtracked on.
Red is just like trying to. He's long since lost interest in most of the store, but he's just trying to look interested. He's not going to say, "Hey, let's get out of here. I've seen everything," but he's definitely just trying to look like he's still interested until someone else says, "Okay, let's go."
And Mildred will, after like 5 minutes tops, say, the benefit to shopping here is that you can buy it pre-tax and that you don't have to go outside. So if it's a really hot day or it's a really wet day or snow.
Yeah.
But if you feel like you need some things, there are additional places that have also very good, she says in the hearing of the shopkeeper, also very good deals.
Mildred,
Yes, ma'am.
could you repeat that for me so I can hear it? Me, who's doing your performance review for this company?
I said there are lots of benefits to shopping here, but there are also other places that have good deals. And I didn't get around to the part yet where I said there are things here that those places don't have, and there are things that those places that here doesn't have. It's not a perfect overlap.
I make a note.
I have no fear. Maybe I should, but I do not. I don't think my wisdom is high enough.
And as you're looking around too,
Yeah, it's really not.
you can see too that some of these items are definitely a little bit silly. In addition, some of them actually seem useful, but there are also some that are kind of goofy. So just, as an example, oops, should have done that. As an example, there is the weapon of returning, which it says in the notes on the placard, if you throw the weapon, it will return to you by dragging you to it.
Red sees this and he's like kind of thinking about all of his experiences adventuring and like trying to find one in his memory that would have been useful for, but he's struggling.
Occasionally they do have some things like this dagger of warning that I was able to purchase here.
Oh yeah, one of my fellow adventurers had a weapon of warning. It's quite handy.
Comes in quite handy.
Yeah.
Oh, and I got these here. And she puts on the cestus of a missile snaring. Haven't gotten to use them yet, but they're really pretty, don't you think?
They are. You haven't gotten to use them?
No, it's weird. Nobody's shot anything at me since I bought them.
What is in arm's reach of me that I can grab and throw at her?
Lots of things.
There's lots of things, but let me see. What would be something funny you could throw at her?
Like one of those...
An axe beak.
Well, there are always axe beaks, aren't there?
Like one of those...
I have the bag of axe beaks.
those
you can always get out the boomerang of big bounces.
Let me see if there's something funny. Here's a good thing. You grab a mantle, and it is labeled as the Mantle of Awe. The card says that on entering a room while wearing the mantle, a flock of doves flies through the doorway behind you, and a song called "The Final Countdown" plays from thin air.
Yes, so I'll throw that.
I can't believe Mork didn't buy that.
Who do you think ordered them in?
Catch it.
Yeah, you have no problem reaching out with your cestus and catching this cloak, essentially, that's flying through the air at you.
Now you can say that you've used them.
I've used them. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Here. Hand it back.
I take it back and look at it and then put it back where I found it.
You hear kind of a noise come from the mantle itself.
A little
Yeah.
Startled as I put it down.
I'm just watching all of this and making notes.
I will point out the pens that will write telepathically for you.
Oh, how much are those?
The telepathic pens, we will say they are, we'll call that 5 gold.
What was that face?
That face was, do you remember how much you made me pay for my abracadabricus?
That's just a pen. This isn't the abracadabricus.
This is like there you could just get a handful out of the supply closet.
Pens are easy. Every company has pens.
Wait, so did I see any pens in the office that looked similar?
A few, yeah. A few people who are walking around with these pens.
So would I think that those are abundant around the office?
Oh, that's a great question.
If people are careful with them.
Tell you what, because we haven't rolled a check yet, roll me anything that is like investigation,
Sure.
just raw intelligence, something along those lines.
It's a 17.
Okay. You saw enough of them to think that probably about half of the people in the office have them.
But they're not like a common office supply, like they're not in the supply closet
No,
that I
you
could.
did not
Okay.
see. So you did see like basic office supplies at your desk. Like you had
Uh-huh.
like a little container that had like one pen in it that was perfectly arranged.
Sure.
And then you had like a little notebook, but you did not see any of these pens at your desk.
Okay. And so he'll ask you, Mildred. Mildred, so these pens telepathically, like, I can. Doesn't have to be in my possession, and I can just think a thought and it will write them down. Is that correct?
Well, you don't have to hold it,
Right.
but I think you have to let the pen get to know you first.
Sure. I like to think I do that with all my pens.
That's your business. Mildred
Oh.
walks on.
That's a
I'll be outside.
joke. I'm. Oh.
Never mind. I don't want to know.
No, it was a joke. It was just. It's just. Oh,
I float there ominously.
nice job, Red. He says under his breath to himself. And he puts the pen down and makes another mental note. But yeah, he's not going
You
to buy
could
the
do
pen.
that with a pen if you bought one
Yeah, that's true.
and attune to it.
That's true.
Is anybody making any purchases or looking for anything today, or were you just showing off the store?
Showing off the store in case he wanted to buy stuff.
Unless there's like one of those 80s snap wristbands that you could, that wrap around your wrist and they can also go straight.
Yes.
Is there like a corporate branded one of those?
Absolutely.
I always wanted to make those for like a podcast or something.
There are corporate snap bracelets here for sure.
Perfect. How much
You
are
definitely
those?
need some.
The corporate snap bracelets are 10 coppers.
Okay, yeah, I'll buy one of those.
I feel like any snap bracelet that comes out of this company would do 1 damage every time you slap it onto you.
That's probably true, to be honest.
That's hilarious.
Slap! Worth it!
Ow! Yeah.
Or works as a homing device to drag you back to the office.
I mean, yeah, you don't know what they put in there.
It's probably how they managed to suck all of the joy out of us. Actually.
Oh no, that's just capitalism.
Okay.
So that's what the oatmeal is for. That's why I don't eat it.
Red, make me a perception check, actually, as you're checking out.
Well, he's not very perceptive, but he's especially not perceptive when he rolls a 1.
Oh, okay, yeah, you don't see anything out of the ordinary.
It's all up from here.
Yeah,
Except when it isn't.
I have no bonuses to that, so it's straight 1.
Okay, yeah, you don't see anything. You buy your
Okay.
snap bracelet, it's all good.
Perfect.
I'm going to float by the exit and go, so are you going to be off now?
Yes.
Yes, I suppose we should need to get to this, or what's left of this warehouse.
All right, excellent. Mildred, could you come here for just a second?
Yes, ma'am.
So it is a little bit difficult for me right now. I'm having this floating sort of situation. I am seeing a doctor about it. So I am going to need you to hold this this chain and pull me along with you.
And it's like one of those, like, like the toddler packs that are like just the toddler leashes.
But you're like the Macy's Day Parade.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a Macy's Day float.
I've got it. May
Look,
I
this
make a
big.
suggestion? My chainmail has a very solid belt that goes around it. We could attach. I can easily hook you to that. Then you can just float behind me.
Oh no, I've got it. We're shopping buddies.
Okay. Just offering.
So she has she can just drag me along while I
Poppy
float and make
balloon.
note.
I will try and attach her chain to some kind of accessory on my outfit so that I still have hands free.
Okay.
A belt or
Yeah, we'll go with the belt. That's fine.
something.
Yeah, so the the four of you head out into the street. God, it's a good thing you're in a big city.
Yeah. This is located in the trade district, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, so you're actually Waterdavian Farms office is in the castle ward.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I live in the trade district or right adjacent.
Yeah, the trade district is not far, so you're not going too far.
But I know right where it is, don't I?
Oh yeah. No, this is a fairly easy find. The trade district is probably a place you all commonly visit. Yeah, you are cutting quite the like. You're lucky you're in Waterdeep, because anywhere else you'd be getting some hella strange looks. For the four of you, because you've got the man of God paladin, and then you have this sort of semi on fire Genasi, and then you've got the blue gnome who's got a halfling balloon.
So yeah, Red will try to make small talk with Scandalon and just say, so tell me, so you're a paladin of Helm, was it?
Yes, that is correct.
Oh, I haven't heard much about Helm. One of my former adventuring companions was a paladin of horror, and what's Helm about?
Helm is the god of light, of justice, of purity. Seeks to clear.
My name is Elder Scandalon.
Helps clear the goal through serving Helm is to rid the world of wrongs, injustice, shed the light of truth on the world rather than the dark deceptions that darkness can bring.
Oh, interesting. That's good.
Speaking of which, Scandalon, I am going to have to ask you to stop leaving those little bitty comic books around the office. It is against company policy.
Oh, so there are now rules that violate my freedom of worship within Waterdavian Farm?
She pauses for a second and she goes,
yeah, I'll look at that a little bit more.
She'll just keep writing. And go,
So, I think horror was is a god of. Correct me if I'm wrong. This may not be under your purview, but horror is like vengeance and wrongdoing. Are they related in some way, or
similar?
Okay.
Maybe different in their approaches to solve the problem, but or to rectify, but similar goals, but different ways of approaching it.
Yeah. So Red just continues on like that, just trying to ingratiate himself with the group as much as he can.
So, you all continue on your way, and you arrive about 20 minutes after you set out. Not too long. It's a short little walk. Since you're muted. You're still muted.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
hope. You get to participate in our favorite tradition in this group. Awkward chit-chat.
Yes, it is definitely a tradition, and it won't be long before someone asks you what your favorite color is.
You were a vegetable.
So you have 20 minutes of your awkward conversation as you all, cross the city.
When she asks you if you were a tree, what kind of bark you would have, you've been accepted.
Okay. Good.
I've never asked anybody that question.
So you, so you arrive at this warehouse. I mean, it's pretty obvious where you're going once you get on the street, because you can see the remains of this burned down building. So you definitely know for sure where you're going.
Does the address match that address that we were given, like on the claim?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
As you come up, you can see, you see, 2891, 2893, and then where 2895 should be, there is rubble.
Smoking hole.
Yeah, not a hole, but yeah, smoking for sure.
And Red definitely says that out loud. It's just, oh, yep. So the address matches what's on the claim. Otherwise, we can check that off, because if it didn't match, we couldn't pay out the claim. It's good that it matches, right?
Very good.
Mhm.
You found the totally obvious. Now let's see if we can find the merely obvious.
Oh yeah, we're just getting started, right? Yeah.
So
I would
what
die
we'd
for
normally
him.
do- Isn't he beautiful? So what we'd normally do at this point is spread out and take a look around the premises, unless, of course, it's an actual building with people working there, and then we would ask their permission first. Are there people?
There is one people. You
Okay.
can see picking her way through the ruins is a woman with blue skin and kind of cloudy hair. Looks like a different variety of Ganassi, actually. And she's kind of just, kicking over slightly burned pieces of wood and overturning things, and just generally kind of has a look of someone who's not really sure what to do with herself, but is a little bit despondent and upset, for sure. And she's just sort of wandering kind of a little ways back from the street. She doesn't seem to have noticed you yet.
I slowly make my way towards her, being careful not to stir up any of the
Evidence.
and any of the evidence on the ground, and trying to observe what it looks like as I go.
Yeah, sure. Make a perception check for me as you wind your way over.
May I assist for advantage?
Yeah, sure. If you want, you can roll your own, or you can do an assist.
I'm happy to let a paladin roll his wisdom score, actually.
Let's see, 15.
Okay. Yeah. So as you're walking, if you feel the occasional tug on your elbow as Mildred points something out to you. So yeah, as you pick your way through here, you don't. So you're seeing essentially the remains of the building, right? So you can see it looks like it was definitely some kind of wood in construction, at least in part. The parts of the walls are still standing, so you don't think it was wholly wood. But there's just kind of heaps of charred rubble in different places. You can see what looks like the remains of different crates. Ashes just everywhere that have kind of been blown up by the wind. It's been a little bit of time since the fire truly burned out. And as you're walking, though, you catch just very faintly the smell of sulfur, and then it's gone. It was there, very, very brief, very, very faint. You probably wouldn't have even noticed if it weren't for the fact that you're a paladin and you are sensitive to things like sulfur, because they usually mean things you don't like. But then it's gone, and you don't.
Did you smell that, Mildred?
That wasn't me.
No. I wasn't implying that. It was sulfur. Just a brief hint of sulfur in the air.
I smelled it.
Of course you did.
Oh, I make a note.
And Mildred turns to look up at Scandalon with one eyebrow much higher than the other.
Of course he did. He's doing his job.
That's what
I
was.
make another note.
Red sees all this going on in like subtext, and she's just like starting to panic and just it's like, wait, is this bad for me, or is this not involving me? Do I need to not care? What's happening? He's just like trying to suss out what's happening.
What is the lady doing? Is she still kind of puttering around?
Yeah, she's still kind of puttering around. Scandalon, you would have smelled the sulfur a little bit before you got too close to her.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wave since I'm a balloon. I'm gonna wave and go, "Hello, ma'am, hello, ma'am."
She looks up when she sees you, and picks her way over with a little bit more determination, and but she's still kind of dodging between various heaps of rubble, and till she reaches you, and she says,
We'll meet her halfway.
and she says, "I'm sorry, and she looks around and she says,
Burn down? Yes, we can see that. We are from the Waterdavian Insurance Agency. We are here to assess your claim.
You're in Eldritch hands.
She says, "Oh, you're from the insurance agency."
Yes, we
Yes,
represent
ma'am.
Waterdavian Farm. We are here to investigate the claim that you placed, madame.
Oh, good. That's good timing. For a second, I thought you were a customer, and I was going to have to explain again why I can't deliver. Well, I mean, she kind of waves a hand around and says, it's gone.
We're here to help, ma'am.
I appreciate it.
No.
How did it start?
I really don't know. I mean, I was not here when it happened. I was at home. It started burning sometime in the night. And I didn't know anything about it until I got here the next morning to start, pulling out my orders for the day and the things I was going to take to the market. And, the building wasn't here anymore.
How were you alerted to it? Just when you got here?
Yeah, just when I got here. It was not my favorite morning.
We understand. Are any of the other buildings charred that we can see?
Yeah.
This one?
You can see that the buildings on either side of this are slightly burned as well.
Okay, so it wasn't like fully targeted. There was some.
No, the extent of the damage. I mean, and you are in a city, so everything is fairly close together. But it does look like the damage suffered on either side was either just not as bad in general, or possibly like a firefighting brigade got here quickly enough to save those buildings, but was not able to save this building, and so they controlled the blaze.
So were there any witnesses to the blaze? Anyone who saw it happening that alerted anyone, including yourself?
Well, this is primarily a business district, but there's an inn. She points across the street. You can see it's another chain of the Gruntled Cat, your favorite inn, the Holiday Inn of Faerun, and and you can see there's a Gruntled Cat like right across the street, and she says some of the patrons over there, they were the ones who noticed it and called the firefighting brigade. But I don't know who exactly reported it.
Now, ma'am, did you have any exposed gas lines of a magical or mundane variety within your establishment?
Oh, no. All of my lights and heating are magical.
Oh, excellent. All right.
Or were.
Are any of your heating elements infernal in nature?
No, I would never do something like that.
Or abyssal?
Well, we don't judge. So, it's just a question, ma'am.
Not abyssal either. I don't have anything to do with dark or evil creatures.
Go
ahead.
So one of the reasons, I don't know this for sure, but one of the reasons I was hired is because on my CV I talked about how I can contact other plane as a ritual, and I could just ask some really smart deity or demigod, what happened here, and we could all, get to the bottom of this and really save some time here.
That is wildly efficient. Excellent.
Thank you.
We're We're not evaluating you right now, but I will remember that for your next evaluation if you live.
Oh, thank you. It's a ritual, as I said, and it'll only take a minute. If that's okay with you, Mildred, and you, Scandalon.
That would be wonderful. Thank you. That's very
Certainly.
thoughtful.
Any way to quickly get to the bottom of what has gone on will be more than helpful.
Okay, and Poppy, I assume your enthusiasm is a yes as well.
Oh, absolutely. I'd love to see it.
Okay, so Red pulls out his Book of Shadows and starts performing the ritual, which involves like a vial of a little substance that he pours on the ground, and then he starts drawing runes in the ground and going back and forth between his book and the runes. And so I don't know if you have it pulled up, Danielle, but I need to make a saving throw.
You do. I was just going to say that. So for context, he has to make a DC 15 intelligence saving throw, or he goes insane.
Okay, hang on.
That's not terrifying at all.
I'm so excited to see what happens.
This is one of my favorant spells for precisely this
Does
reason.
one of my auras give
that's
him
the
any?
spell I picked for my 9th level, or you're for level 9, so I want to see
The
how
suspense
it
is
works
killing me. I hope it'll last.
I'm waiting
Would my-
for Scandalon.
Does any of my auras give him
So it is a
aura
saving
protection
throw.
or aura of devotion? Give him any? No, that's protects against charm, and that's aura protection does give him a +3 bonus to all saving throws if he's within 10 feet of me.
So sure. So you would get that +3 bonus. That's good.
Okay, so my saving throw modifier is +4, so that's a +7, and so I need to be at an 8 or higher.
Let's see it.
Oh man!
I don't want you going insane on your first day, after all.
I mean, it'll happen eventually. Might as well be early.
I kind of like Jake. Me personally is fine with either way. It's who knows what will happen if.
So you're saying we have Jake from Otterdavian Farm?
I didn't even think about that, but I would give you inspiration if I
so
could.
I will give you inspiration for that. That was very good. And actually, I'll give Cintu inspiration for her JC Copper earlier because that was also really good.
Thank you.
That was inspired.
Okay, so that's a 6. That's a failure. That's a 13. And then I take 6d6 psychic damage.
Yes!
I will roll that.
Holy cannoli.
So give me 1 second to dump out some dice.
Yeah.
Okay, I better get ready to lay on some hands here, I think.
Red was having such a
HR
good
not
first
hands,
day.
sorry.
Look, you tried, and that's all that matters. Except not in this company. But
He's smart too.
6d6 is gonna be 23 points of psychic damage.
oh boy,
Okay.
Ouch.
ouch.
Okay.
That's not good.
So Poppy is leaning and looking like just fascinated, like, oh boy, this is going to be great. If we get everyone on board with this, like our turnover is going to be way faster. It's going to be great for pumping them out.
So it's the spell says you while insane, you can't take actions, can't understand what other creatures say, can't read and speak only in gibberish. But that's no fun. So hey.
For how long?
Until long rest
Oh.
or greater restoration spell.
Oh, greater restoration. It's got to be greater.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does have to be greater. Don't
Rats,
worry,
because
I'm doing
I've
something
got
different.
lesser.
That is a shame.
I am modifying this mechanic for something I prefer.
Fair enough.
But I've got to find the right page. Okay, so instead of going insane in that fashion, I am going to give you a form of Madness.
Okay.
So roll me a d10. Or, yeah.
Okay. That's a 10.
All right. Okay. So this is the flaw that you gain for being crazy or insane.
Yeah.
There's only one person I can trust, and only I can see this special friend. So you have gained an imaginary friend. He's the only person you trust, or she, or they.
Okay. So when I completed the ritual, did I hear any other entity, or was it just this other
So for you, the experience of casting this spell, so you set everything up and started to cast it, and you heard in your head kind of like a low, growly vibration of sorts that lasted for a few seconds, and then you heard these peals of like creepy childlike laughter. Think like The Shining, like very creepy children, and then you noticed your new friend.
Okay. So the other stuff doesn't apply then?
I don't think so, because it says on a successful save.
So the other effects of the spell,
no,
though.
yeah, you can still take actions and understand what creatures say and such. Yeah,
Okay.
I swapped that out for this form of madness.
I see. So Red goes, well, so it went great. My friend is joining us now. And that goes on for like 15 seconds. And they're going to help us, and they know everything about this and everything. So it's going to be great.
Well, that's just wonderful. Oh, well, it's just, what a wonderful spell. I have to learn that myself.
Yeah, I mean, I made 3 new friends today, and now I've added a 4th, and it's just nothing could be better. It's just what's that? And Red just starts walking over to a random corner of the. It's not random for him, but probably for as far as everyone else is concerned, to a random corner of the ruins, and starts digging through some rubble.
Okay. So on that note of strangeness, we're gonna go ahead and take our break because it's 9:00. So for those of you watching along, thank you for being here. Give us about 10 minutes, and we will be back. And we will continue talking to the shop owner and also find out what happens with Shatana.
Walla walla bing bang.
So we'll see you in a few minutes. Hang tight. Hello, we are back. And we have returned from our break to continue onward investigating this particular case. So before we left the break, I think we have some people mixed up on
Oops.
the overlay. So while we're fixing that, the four of you can continue discussing what just happened, where Red is now off in a corner talking to someone who does not appear to be there.
So I think Mildred and Scandalon and Poppy, I think I can ask. How many questions can I ask? So unlimited. I thought it was 5. Oh, okay. 5 questions.
Ask him if this was a deliberate arson.
Did you get that? No. No, the part about the arson. Was it a deliberate arson? No. Arson is not a person. They're not. I don't think they get it.
So did someone set this fire on purpose? Was this to collect tax money? Or not tax money, insurance money?
Do you ask that directly in front of the person who would have done it if it happened?
Yes.
I freaking love Poppy. I love Poppy.
Did you get that? No, not the. I told you we were past the second question. Well, I guess it doesn't matter the amount of questions. It's unlimited, you said. So, did someone deliberately... And so he's saying these words, and it's... The sentences, for the most part, are exactly how I'm saying them. Every, like, 5th word or 8th word, it just kind of goes to gibberish. He thinks he's just talking normally. But Red continues, so was it set on purpose? And the entity doesn't, unless Danielle, do you want to?
The entity tells you a really fascinating story about how a red dragon came here in the middle of the night and breathed on this building because it was so mad it doesn't like yarn, and it had to stop the yarn, and just goes on about this dragon, and that then turned into a bird and flew away.
So, well, never. So this red dragon hates yarn, therefore hated this building, blew fire on it. Not blue fire, but, expelled fire. It could have been blue, I guess. But so then turned into a bird and took off. No, that was a helpful answer. So, no, you're good.
And it was the owner, when she hears this, goes,
Do we all know that dragons and dragonkin can't be in Waterdeep?
Yeah, it would be pretty common knowledge for anyone who is
From here?
or from around here that flying over the city is not permitted unless you have very specific permission. So a dragon could not just swoop in here and do that.
Okay, so plan B, ma'am. Do you have any enemies?
I'm going to search the grounds for evidence
while this is going on. I've just said enough of this. I'm going to cast Detect Good and Evil.
Okay. So let me deal with these things one at a time.
No problem.
Poppy, you ask her if she has any enemies. She kind of shakes her head and she goes, no, I sell yarn. I don't. no. Is it possible to have enemies that sell yarn? I didn't think it was that cutthroat of a business.
Well, I heard the knitting community is actually a very volatile community. I have heard, some stories about the knitting guild where there was an issue and several people did have to go
Maybe
to
I'm
the
in the
hospital.
wrong business.
I always heard it was a close-knit group.
Shafafana says that cats hate yarn.
I guess they do, but I don't think my warehouse was burned down by a bunch of cats, although I guess that's not entirely out of the question. Does that answer your question?
I don't know. Was it a question? No, it was I don't know. He's not saying it's an exclamation.
The lady just looks completely nonplussed. Like she has no idea what the heck is going on right now. We're going to cut briefly away. Mildred, you said you were searching the rubble?
Yes.
Okay. I would like you to give me an investigation check, please.
New dice.
Would you like some assistance, madame?
I would love some assistance.
Okay, I'll go ahead and assist her to give her advantage.
Okay.
Thank you. And it worked. 19 plus 4 is 23. 23.
Real nice, yeah.
Math
Okay,
is hard, y'all.
so-
Stay in school.
You start, kicking around in here, looking at the rubble, trying to put together some assessment of, damages, but also kind of trying to figure out what happened. Damages wise, you think that there's probably at least $20,000 worth of damage here between the building itself and then also all the product that was probably lost. But the more you poke around, the more you think that there's not enough remains of like the product and like the crates and everything in here that this warehouse was truly full. You're not sure if that's just because maybe the warehouse wasn't full, or if there was, that there was some other reason why it wasn't.
I know you wanted to handle
Yes.
Scandalon
actually,
as well, so I'll come back to
So
me.
you're casting Detect Evil and Good?
Yeah, while helping her, I'm also trying to walk around, cover as much of the area as I can to see if I can detect anything.
Okay.
Especially maybe from the new guy.
Okay, so if there is an aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, or fiend, or undead within 30 feet. And if the place has been magically consecrated or desecrated. Okay.
Right.
There are no aberrations, celestials, elementals, fey, or fiends, or undead within 30 feet of you, and that includes the new guy.
Okay. Cool.
Definitely seems to be a Ganassi, and you don't sense any entity either that for like what he's talking to. That like there's no like aberration or undead or fey or anything like that that's set off that you think he might be talking to. And you can tell that the building itself is not consecrated or desecrated in any way.
Okay.
It's just plain normal solid ground.
Okay. All right. Figured try to eliminate causes as we go. Otherwise, I'll just keep on trying to search through the rubble as well.
And I have a stupid idea.
I love stupid.
Oh,
ideas.
goody!
So I have the ability to cast Confusion once per long rest. If I cast Confusion on Red, does that somehow work at odds with what's already done with him and then make him sane again?
I don't know. You'd have to try it and find out.
Oh no!
I'm fine with it. I like weird ideas, as you can tell.
You know what? I'm going to look at him and I'm going to be like, this doesn't exactly match what I thought the spell is.
So I'm going to cast confusion on him and see what happens.
Okay. So Red, having heard Poppy say that, I'm kind of prefacing this as something that maybe might help you, although,
Sure.
I mean, to your knowledge, there's nothing wrong with you.
This
Yeah.
might help in this situation. We're just gonna see. I'm not sure, but this might help.
I'm going to cast confusion.
There is a saving throw involved with the spell, and I will let you decide if you would like to auto-fail and trust Poppy, or go ahead and roll and leave it to...
Oh, it'd be an auto fail just because he's trying to make a good impression on his first day.
Okay.
We're not even trying to haze him, and it's working.
Accidental hazing. Okay, so what I'm going to have you do then, since you are going to automatically fail, so for confusion, for those of you who don't know, it says this spell assaults and twists creatures' minds, spawning delusions and provoking uncontrolled action. Each creature you can see in range must succeed on a wisdom saving throw, which we've already established that Red is just going to fail. So it says an affected target can't take reactions and must roll a d10 at the start of each of its turns to determine its behavior. So, Red, I'm going to have you go ahead and roll me a d10.
It's a 7.
A 7. All right.
Oh no!
Perfect. All right. So the creature.
What hath Poppy wrought?
The creature uses its action to make a melee attack against a randomly determined creature within its reach. So I would say Poppy is within your reach, and Zephyr, the shop owner, is within your reach.
And also his...
I was just gonna say that. So as far as you're concerned, Slahana thing is real. So we're gonna count them too. So that's 3 potential targets. So go ahead and roll me.
4, because Poppy is attached to me.
But you've moved away a little bit.
I did, but apparently we moved back because Poppy's with me and she's talking to
All
the
right,
person.
fair. So I'll have you roll a d4. On a 1, it's Poppy. On a 2, it's Zephyr. On a 3, it's your invisible friend. And on a 4, it will be Mildred.
3, please be 3, please be 3.
It's a 1.
Poppy.
I deserve this!
Okay, so do you have a melee attack, Red?
Yeah, I have a quarterstaff.
Bought me.
But luckily he's got a -1 strength modifier.
So basically, this is pinata time.
Yes, so you can go ahead and roll that attack. With, if you have your proficiency bonus, you'll add that, and otherwise it'll be just a -1.
That's a 22 to hit. And
Hey, you get off of that cloud.
She can't dodge because she's floating.
that's a 3 damage, -1 is 2, -1 for strength modifier.
You bought me and I go, look, I was just trying to help. I'm sorry. I just... Don't hit me.
He's
Poppy, technically, confusion is a concentration spell. So I'm gonna have you roll to maintain your concentration, or you can choose to drop it. It's up to you.
No, I'm going to roll to just see what happens.
Am I correct in assuming that I probably may not saw anything, but I heard the whack?
Probably heard the whack, yeah.
Okay, I hear the whack, and I turn around and start drawing my sword, thinking that
It's a
something's come and
19,
invaded.
So it's going to, even without my modifier, it's good. I'm good.
You're good, yeah. Yeah, so Scandalon, you turn around just in time to see Red, pulling the quarterstaff back from smacking Poppy in the face.
Do I look after she cast it on me and I failed it? Is my whole demeanor and look and expression completely different?
Yeah, I would say I don't want to say your face has gone blank of emotion,
Right.
but definitely has emptied out a little bit. like
Mhm.
it definitely doesn't look normal. Because you're not really sure of what's going on right now, and you're sort of being controlled by the spell. So, yeah, Scandalon, you would notice. I mean, you have a fairly high wisdom score, that you would notice that there's something off about Red right now. Even and he just hit Poppy. It looks like, and she's like,
Did Poppy say that she was casting something on me, or say I'm casting? I'm gonna cast confusion
I said
on.
I'm gonna cast something that I maybe will help. We'll see what happens.
Oh, okay. So Scandalon might have heard that. I don't know.
Either way, I turn around. I have my sword out, saying, "What the helm is going on here?"
Okay, Scandalon. Okay, one very funny. We've heard that one. It's fine. Just a little bit of a misunderstanding. You don't lashing out like this is not a healthy behavior. And I will have to talk to you about this at a later date.
What is? Am I hearing normal words coming from her, or am I
it's
just
sort of. It's kind of like garbled. Like, imagine being underwater,
right?
and like you can sort of hear things. Like, you're catching like bits and pieces, like
Sure.
later and words. And I would like you to go ahead and roll me another d10, please.
Meanwhile, I'm going to kind of push Poppy out of his reach because clearly there's problems here.
It says you don't move or take actions this turn. So you're just kind of in a little bit of a daze. Poppy, you shout all of this, and Red just doesn't react at all.
All right. And I'm going to drop confused and just be like, well, that just didn't work, I guess. Some people just don't want your help.
That was weird. You were all garbled and it was like I was looking at you from a tunnel. It was weird.
I would definitely go see a doctor about this. Unfortunately, we do not have vision insurance, so that will be on your own dime, on your own copper.
What? So what spell did you cast on me? Did it help?
Well, it's this little the spell
I feel like
that
it did.
Yeah, it's this little spell that I have that I can do sometimes. Sometimes it's a little bit confusing, but I thought that kind of in this specific situation, it might help. Two positive, negative, two negative, make positive. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Clearly, it was a failed venture, but we're fine. I will have to talk to you about the assault issue. The first is a warning. The second is an official write-up, and the third will be extermination.
So, okay, yeah. I'm sorry about that.
I have been reading HR paperwork for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, you're very good.
While all this is going on, Zephyr is standing there just with this dumbfounded look on her face, like, what the...
Ma'am, I would like to assure you that this is not normal behavior, and we suspect some sort of other planar interference in the site, or perhaps in our fellow employee, and we apologize, all of us at Waterdavian Farm, for the. But in the meantime, could you maybe walk me through? Did the fire brigade mention where they thought the fire had started? Can you show me where that is?
Yeah.
She
just sort of shakes her head, and she's like, "Wow, this has been a day." And
I follow her, dragging Poppy and shaking my head at Red. Mildred is nothing but disapproval today, apparently.
I follow right behind the poppy cloud, and just to make sure that she's protected in case Red decides to act up again.
Question mark?
Yeah, so you all traipse over to what at one point was one of the back corners of this building. And you can see that there is what looks like there was some kind of like alley space between the different buildings, so it's definitely possible that someone or something could have gotten back here even when the building was still around. And she walks back here and she says, well, the fire brigade said that the fire started back here in this corner, but they didn't give me a whole lot of details. I mean, if you wanted to talk to them, I guess you could. They probably have some kind of report that they write up that you could requisition.
We still have unlimited. Red walks up. We still have unlimited questions with Shafafana. So why aren't we should ask questions?
I do think that maybe this is not, you're not going to be getting the best answers because some of these answers have been a little bit implausible.
Are you calling Shafafana a liar?
No, but maybe he doesn't know everything about this particular occurrence. Anyway, what we need is something that we can put in our reports, and we can only put into our reports that which can be, verified.
No, I know you know everything about everything. That's what I think. They don't believe it.
Tell Mana we need a little bit more accurate information and precise.
Yeah, did you hear that? No, there's still no arson person. That's a thing you do. It's a verb. Just we need more precise information. I will file a complaint. It was rude. I agree with you. Poppy, I hate to do this on my first day, but I'd like to formally file a complaint.
We'll handle this once we get back to the office, all right?
About harassment. I feel it needs to be filed now because it's going to continue.
I'm sorry, Red. We will handle it as soon as we've handled our client's business.
Now, Mildred, I am the head of bar, so this is my curfew. So for right now, what we will do, I do understand where you're coming from. However, I have been hit in the face by you with your weapon today, which also is a situation we need to handle.
Do I remember that?
You vaguely remember like moving your arms, but you don't remember it as like hitting Poppy. You remember it as like maybe like you were dancing or
swatting a fly,
or like Shanamana was there and you were trying to they were crying and you were trying to comfort them.
Your eyebrows were falling. You had all this eyebrow hair on your face. I was wiping it off with my quarterstaff. I didn't hit you. Didn't.
I do understand that situation. So right now, what we're going to do is I will keep that in mind. And actually, I'm going to pull a form from my bra of holding. And I am going to start preliminarily filling it out. And I will put down his the information of his complaint and go, when we get back, we will file this for you and that will go through the proper channel.
But make sure you put my name and Shafafana's name on the complaint because we're both filing a complaint.
But Shafafana is not an employee, so they can provide witness, but they cannot lodge the complaint unless...
This poor woman just wants her insurance.
Well,
No, I know. Technically, you're an employee. We're all employees of the universe, but you're not an employee of
Water Davian Farm.
Water Davian Farm. So it doesn't matter if we're all employees of the metaverse. What is a metaverse? Anyways, that's fine, Poppy.
Thank you. Well, we will get this handled. I do appreciate the candid effort. Mildred Scandalon, I still am evaluating you right now, so just keep that in mind.
Understood, ma'am.
She looks at she's just looking at the four of you in complete disbelief.
I'm sorry.
And
I'm sorry, Ms. Sarn. This is not. We at Water Davian Farm have always supported the hiring of people of specialized outlook.
Specialized outlook.
And occasionally, it's our fault. We apologize we don't necessarily always know how to integrate them into the
wait.
office.
Wait, so
But
wait, let
I
me
apologize.
We've had some changeover lately in the office and with our procedures and all that, and we are currently experimenting with new methods for reviewing and processing claims, and it looks like we may be having a little trouble with this newer procedure, so we may have to make some revisions. So we apologize on behalf of Waterdavian Farm for how irregular this might be, but we're testing out new theories of investigation of claims. So it looks like it's
let
not
me get this
quite
straight.
working.
So she, and she points at Poppy, is not actually here for the claim. She's here to monitor your performance, and he is just like seeing things
New.
that aren't there.
He's new.
This is his first claim investigation.
And
He's a little nervous.
In the background,
To anyone.
Red is saying to Shafavana, he's saying it's a different process. He's not calling you a process or a theory or anything. Why do you get offended by this? And he's just going on.
Oh, Shafafana is my new favorite thing.
You might have to stay.
No,
I mean, it's a form of indefinite madness. It doesn't really go away.
it goes away on a long rest.
You don't know about that. I think it doesn't go away until it's cured.
You've got to remember, with Waterdavian Farm, there is no such thing as a long rest.
That's true, though.
That's also true. Yeah, so she just says, okay, yeah, anyway, this is apparently where the fire started, so...
I'll pick in there and see if I can CSI water deep my way into an understanding of what happened, if it's mundane.
Yeah, make me another investigation check.
Okay. Would anyone like to assist?
Of course, I'm right there close by.
Did you roll a 1?
No, I didn't. I didn't actually look all that closely at it, but it looked curvy. Oh, but that's definitely not. Okay. So that was +4, 13.
Yeah, you poke around. You can sort of see that this area over here is definitely more damaged. It looks like the fire burned longer here, so that tracks roughly with this being the first area to be lit aflame. But otherwise, you don't really see much indication of what could have caused the fire. If there were any footprints or anything like that, you don't see them. They're long gone.
Any sort of explosive look?
Yeah, you don't see anything like that either.
Okay.
Just the damage is noticeably more in this area.
Okay. Then I would. Okay.
Yeah.
Mildred and Scandalon, I can cast another spell that may help us.
No, that's okay.
No, it'll only detect magic. To see
that's an excellent idea, but I'm curious if it would still have anything left to detect at this point of time.
Mildred just breathes into her hands for a minute.
No, we don't know, but I can cast it as many times as I need to. So it's not like I'm expending any resource.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Sure, go ahead.
All right, so he takes out his book and his Rod of the Pact Keeper and activates Detect Magic, the invocation, and that will tell me, and I'll walk around and it will tell me presence of magic within 30 feet of me, and I know the school.
Yeah. Okay. So I normally handle Detect Magic since you can sort of see the aura. I usually say you don't only get the school, but you can get a sense of how active it is. So
Okay.
So you can get a sense of the power level of what you're looking at as well. And what you see here you see some remnants of abjuration magic that look, they're very, very faint. You think that they're fading at this point and they're no longer truly active. And so in the outline of that abjuration magic is basically the shape of the building as it used to be. So you definitely see that there used to be some sort of protection on the building itself. That aura of abjuration magic is noticeably absent over here in the corner where you are. And instead, you can see the remnants of some evocation magic.
Okay, I will. I will go to Zephyr and I'll say, "Ma'am, did you have abjuration wards put on your building at all?"
Yes. Whenever I bought it, I paid a protection company to put some minor wards on the building.
Okay, I still notice those wards are there but fading. There is an evocation, detecting some evocation remnants in this area. Scandalon, Mildred, and Poppy. Did you guys catch that? There was abjuration and there's evocation here. What company was it that you hired to put the protection?
It was a company called it's been a while. Safety Services.
Safety Clairvoyance?
Safety Services.
Services?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is that a company we've run across before?
Yeah, I was going to ask that same thing, if that would sound familiar to any of us.
I mean, you've probably seen their work on other cases, not cases covered on the show, obviously, but...
no class action lawsuits against them out right now?
No, nothing like that. They're actually a fairly well-known and reputable company in the city of Waterdeep. You've worked with them probably numerous times with other insurance companies, or with other insurance claims. They tend to be a company that you work with a lot when... for personal property claims where something's been stolen, or other similar claims to this one where something has happened to a building, like there's been some kind of property damage,
warranty violations and such.
Yeah.
Ma'am, you cannot think of any individuals, any incidents in the area involving evocation magic or fire damage. No disgruntled patrons as recently.
It's yarn. I mean, if my patrons were disgruntled, they'd just return the product.
So there's been no issues with someone tried to return something recently and they were not able to, so they were upset with you?
I mean, I take returns. I have a 30-day return policy. That's usually plenty of time.
Any notable returns as of late? Something that came back a little more?
I mean, 2 weeks ago I had a customer return 24 skeins, but
why did they return the 24 skeins?
They just weren't happy with the color. It wasn't what they wanted, but they weren't mean about it.
What color was it?
Purple.
And who was this individual?
Oh, I'd have to. Oh.
Do you happen to have record books that you keep off site of your inventory?
No.
Can you show me where your inventory books were kept?
Yeah, I can show you where they were kept.
This woman is so tired.
And she walks over to a different part of the warehouse. Somewhere toward the middle, but a little bit more toward the back. So definitely an area that would have not been at all customer facing, like back in the warehouse. Maybe.
Less damage here than over by the start of the fire?
A little bit less damage, but still a lot because it's fairly close. It's not too far from wherever the fire started.
Can I find ashes that look like a book?
I'll make an investigation check.
Book ashes.
See, I have mending.
I do too.
19 plus 4, 23.
Okay. You do manage to find, with her help, the remains of a book. Just one.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll help you unearth it from the ashes. And she says, I used to have like a dozen of these with all of my transactions, but it looks like most of them were lost in the fire. This is the only one.
Can I look in the insurance contract to see if there's any requirement that the insured have backups of records like that?
Yeah, you absolutely can take a look in the contract. What you'd find is there's not necessarily a backup requirement, but there is a requirement that the value be demonstrable in some fashion. So it wouldn't really be enough for her to just say, my warehouse was full. She would have to be able to say, okay, I had, X number of crates, and each crate was worth X amount of money, and to have some kind of evidence, even if it was light evidence, of what she had, in order to be able to prove to you that, just in some degree, that there wasn't stuff like the value of what was here. The building is kind of handled separately from that. So the building is the building, and you can have, there's a property assessment on file from when she purchased it, and you can rely on that for value there.
So I'll make a note that she doesn't have that as of yet. Any sort of.
Madam Sarn, for
Can the
lack
book be mended?
At
At least the last few pages.
You can try mending on this. You don't know how much effect it's gonna have because mending generally requires you to have the pieces to put them together.
The pieces are all here. They're just ashy.
Yeah, they've been pretty well destroyed, so you're not really sure how much use you're gonna get out of mending, but you can definitely try.
Will mending like recreate data essentially, like knowledge?
Not typically.
So it would just put the paper back together?
Yeah, I mean, if she, for instance, if she had the book and there was a page missing and she had the page that was detached, she could use mending to lay the page back in. But with this book being as damaged as it is and portions of it burnt out and having, those are just burned to ashes, mending's probably not going to get you very far. But you can try it.
I'll just be trying it over here.
Okay.
Roughly how much merchandise did you have in your warehouse at the time?
I generally keep about 5,000 gold worth of merchandise here. And the warehouse was full when it burned down.
All right. Is she telling the truth?
Yeah.
Make an insight check.
I'll assist.
So advantage?
I'm gonna say, yeah, all right. I'll let it go this time. But advantage checks or insight checks are a little bit hard to assist on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you hear everybody around you going,
Or can we all just use our passive insight?
You can use your passive if you prefer to use that. Just let me know what it is.
I'm gonna
It's a 10.
Okay.
10.
insight. Give me just a second. I haven't looked at this character sheet since
my passive is 14.
194. So that is gonna be. Oh, not great, Bob. That's a 10.
Yeah, I mean, she seems like she's telling the truth.
Madam Sarn, for lack of a more tactful way of saying it, how much competition do you have in the yarn business?
I mean, there's definitely some competitors. I'm kind of a small fish in the pond. But I mean, I don't have any like enemies or anything like that. I mean, like I said, I'm a small fish. I'm not really a big competitor to like the big yarn conglomerates.
Big yarn.
Big Yarna.
Big yarn.
Big yarn.
They just kind of ignore me. I mean, I sell primarily to customers who want organic hand-dyed yarn, that extra special value.
So, do you have any proof of the inventory you currently had on?
I probably have some of the paperwork at my house, at my home office.
That'll be necessary if we can get it.
I can go see what I have. What I have there. Do you need me to go get it now, or do you want me? Do you want to finish this inspection first?
It'll help us later, but we'll finish this first. We wouldn't want to traipse around your place of business without you present.
Oh, okay. I mean, well.
Plus, you could always tomorrow bring it by the Waterdavian farm office in the first thing in the morning, if that would be convenient for you.
Yeah, I could definitely do that. I could bring it to the office. Sure.
Is there an animal like a rat or like some sort of like just common animal around this area that I can find, like a bird or like some roaches or just any animal?
Yes. I mean, it's a city. There are lots of rats and birds.
Awesome. I would like to go find some rats.
All right.
In the vicinity, like directly in the area.
Okay, there's probably like a little trash heap nearby that is, waiting to be picked up by the city's waste management.
I'm gonna kneel down and I can cast beast speech at will. I can talk with animals. It's beast speech, so I can talk with animals.
Okay.
And I lean down and go, hello, excuse me, sir or madam. Could I speak with you for just a moment?
And you hear like a little chittering noise, and then they look up at you, and we'll say there's two of them, and one of them says, "The halfling is talking to us," and the other one says, "What should we say back?" The other one says, "I don't know. This has never happened before," and and the other one says, "Okay," and then. And then the rat says, "Hello, big person."
That's a first.
Oh, you beat me to it.
We see many people here. Can you be more specific?
Hi. Well, I need to ask you a couple questions. We are there. You see this building caught on fire last night, and I would like to know if you saw anything suspicious, anyone in the area coming around last night that might have lit a fire, or anything suspicious that happened in this warehouse.
You hear them whispering, the two of them like to each other very quietly, and then you hear one of them say, one of them says, "There's less trash than usual. We find this suspicious."
So are you insinuating that it's the garbage collection agency that set this fire?
I don't know. We don't really know much about fires, but there's less trash, and we don't like it. And then you hear a squeak from the other one, and the other one goes, "Oh, tell her about the person." And the other one goes, "Oh, there was a person who fed us."
A person fed you? Was this last night? What did they look like?
This was and you get the sense that the rats really don't understand the concept.
The concept of temporal.
and then says it was dark, and they were wearing long gray. Now I'm wondering if rats are colorblind, because these are the things you wonder when you're playing D&D.
It's magical world. They can see everything. They got shrimp eyesight. They can see those colors only shrimp can see.
They were wearing a long gray, what do you call it? And the other rat goes, a coat! And they go, oh, yes, a coat. And, but they had a hood up, but they dropped some food for us.
Okay, if you want a quick scientific insight, they perceive colors rather like a human with red-green color blindness, but their color saturation may be faint and colors may be far less important to them than the brightness.
We have learned a thing today. Rats are not actually colorblind, except for red-green color blindness.
Their vision is like 2,600.
So basically, they saw someone in a cloak. Did you see their face at all, or see anything else that they did?
No. Well, I mean, they gave us the food, but, well. And the other one looks at the rats look at each other and they go, they didn't seem real happy about us taking it, though.
What was the food? What did the food look like? What was it?
Oh, they like chitter a little bit and they go, oh, it was tasty, very, very strong and brown and, well, actually white and delicious.
Does this remind me of, does this description ring any bells?
Yeah, you think it's probably some form of dropping or excrement.
It was white.
Okay. I go,
My God.
thank you. I appreciate that.
And the rats go, do you have food too?
No, I'm going to go now, and I'm going to. Okay. Gray, poop, robe, any bells ringing?
Make an Arcana check.
Oh, Lord. Come on, big whammies. Or no whammies. Big money. Big whammies, no money. God, come on. Mother of shit.
Yes. There is indeed shit involved.
Well, yeah. Arcana, you said? Mm-hmm. That's not going to be great. I think that's going to be another... Oh, I have +4 to Arcana, so that's a 15.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Poppy, you don't personally... you don't personally cast magic this way, but you're generally familiar with spell components.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that bat guano and sulfur are the two primary material components for the fireball spell.
Okay. I'm going to wander. I'm going to float back over to the lady and go, do you know of anyone who wears a gray robe? Does that ring a bell at all?
I mean, we live in a city. There's probably a lot of people who wear gray robes.
Well, I do have a eyewitness testimony that it was possible someone was trying to cast the fireball spell on your shop, ma'am. What is her reaction? Does she react suspiciously?
Make an insight check.
Okay, we're gonna do our pike dice. Let's see. Whoo, that's gonna 16.
Oh, nice. Okay. She is covering very, very well. But this is not. You don't think this is as surprising to her as it perhaps should be. Like she says, like, really? But you can see that, and you're not sure if the lack of surprise is because maybe she suspected that already, or if it's because she knows something. Maybe there's something she's not telling you. You're not really sure what the reason is, but you can definitely tell she's not as surprised as you would expect.
Yes, it does appear that there is the eyewitness testimony does say that there is an individual with spell components that do resemble that of Fireball. So this does appear to be purposefully lit. I am going to confer with my compatriots here for a moment, and I turn around and go, "Oh man, what a rush! I miss being in the field. This is great." So don't think she's given us the whole story.
So wait, what about the fireball?
Okay, so I talked to some rats. Don't ask. It's a long story.
No, I got it.
Someone dropped some poop. Fireball. She's not
Right.
surprised. Scandalon.
Yes.
Do you have any sort of truth-telling spell?
If I remember correctly, I do have Zone of Truth.
Do we want to cast Zone of Truth?
Well, if she is not telling us the truth, which impedes our investigation,
Well, that's an automatic probably don't pay out.
Mm-hmm.
So she's going to have to come correct.
yes. And I would say that would justify the use of such action.
Hell yeah! We're getting the gang back together.
I feel like
I
feel like
missed
that would-
this. And I'll reach up and give Puppy a little hug around her knees.
Give her a fist bump.
Red says to you guys, was it not standard practice to use lie detection magic?
Not
Usually we
always.
need to.
Oh,
Usually people who file are a little bit more forthcoming with their information. It appears she is hiding.
You don't want to come like accusatorily at our clients. Usually that does put them off, and it is all about the money. So you gotta get that paper, yo. Good times. All right, let's cast the spells.
So how far away am I probably from her at this point?
10, 15 feet. I mean, however far you want to be. It's not.
Okay, so it's well within the 60-foot range. then
Oh, yeah,
that I
yeah,
can
yeah.
cast it.
Absolutely, for sure.
All right, I will go through the verbal chant and the somatic motions to cast Zone of Truth in the 15-foot ball around her.
Sure. What is your spell save DC?
It is Charisma 15.
Ooh.
are we in the spell?
Only
I'm
if
going to
you
take several steps back.
only if you let yourself be.
I don't need to be a part of that.
What's that, Shafavana? Yeah, I'll be right there.
Shafafana's no dummy.
Oh, Shafafana. My favorite thing. Okay, so
Member of our little band.
DC 15.
He's C of 15, yes.
That is a failure.
Okay.
So yeah, and you can tell that she has failed the spell. You get that with Zone of Truth.
Did the rest of us get back in time?
I took my time doing it to give you all room to avoid if you chose.
Oh no, I was like, I just let it happen.
All right. Ladies, I will defer
Compel
to you.
truth? Does it compel truth, or does it just make if you speak? You
Creature is aware of the spell and can thus avoid answering questions which it would normally respond with a lie. Such a creature can be evasive in the answers as long as it remains in the boundaries of the truth. So they can try to do their best to avoid to tell you as much as possible, but they cannot bald-face lie.
This is like talking to a fairy, essentially. They can't tell you an outright lie, but they don't have to answer the
Shifty as
question.
heck.
Cannot speak a deliberate lie while in the radius.
Yeah.
I wasn't not involved with this accident.
Exactly. As long as it's technically true, they can say it. And they are not under any compulsion to actually answer the question. So, remaining silent is definitely an option. So she knows that you cast this spell as well. It says an affected creature is aware. So she will realize when the spell's taken hold.
Does she look alarmed when she realizes the spell that this has been cast on her?
Make me another insight check.
16.
Yeah, she, like I said, she's covering her emotions pretty well, but yes, she does look slightly alarmed when she feels it. She doesn't run or anything or react in any physical way other than just like her eyes widen a little bit when she feels it.
I'm going to try and convince her that she should cooperate.
Y'all have 10 minutes.
That she should cooperate, and it will be a red flag to us if she chooses not to talk to us and be truthful.
Do you say that in any particular way, or is that just general summary of what you say?
That was a general summary of what I say. Just trying to convince her.
Make a persuasion check for me.
I have +9 to persuasion.
Ooh.
So I rolled a 14, and that's 23.
Oh my god. Okay.
Get it, son.
She says, okay, I mean, what do you want to know?
Go ahead, Mildred.
Who do you think is involved in this based on the information that our friend Poppy has given you from her witnesses?
I know a wizard who would be capable of doing this.
Who is it?
Her name is Madrian.
Did you hire her to set your warehouse on fire, ma'am?
I did not pay her to set my warehouse on fire.
We didn't ask about pay. We asked about hire. Did you contract with her?
I have no contract with her.
Did you ask her to do it?
She's quiet for a moment, and then she says, I did not ask her.
Did you tell her to do it?
Yeah.
And she says, no.
Did you want her to do it? Right now, ma'am.
I cast minor illusion behind her, and I have 5 red flags in my hand that are and they're just growing more and more.
That's great. I love it. She clenches her teeth a little bit, and she says, yes.
Did you make your wishes known to her, even if you did not directly ask her to do this?
Yes.
Are you married or dating this individual? Is this a sort of
No.
a joint kind of? Okay. I was just curious. Sometimes that
Why would you want her to burn the warehouse down?
Well, I do think that's pretty obvious. It's pretty insurance. That's kind of goes without saying.
Because I had to.
Why did you
Why
have
did
to?
you have to? Well, ma'am, we know you did it on purpose. You might as well tell us.
Look. If I tell you
Oh, you're going to tell us.
I don't have to tell you anything. If I tell you,
We'll see.
I want your guarantee that your company will not pursue any kind of legal action.
Well, we cannot guarantee that at all, ma'am. However,
Are
as it stands, we do have enough evidence to press charges. This is a fraudulent case, so you are already going to be on.
Are lives in danger?
I want your guarantee before I tell you anything.
I have a guarantee. Shafafana just said they'll guarantee it. So
Shafafana, yeah, Shafafana guarantees it.
Ma'am,
You have
Was this
Shafafana.
Go ahead.
where is the inventory that should be in this warehouse right now burned?
That's
Because there isn't enough here. There isn't enough here for a full warehouse. And we can all see it, and so can you. Where's the inventory?
That's none of your business.
Well, considering you are putting in a fraudulent claim here, this is legitimately
Actually,
and
our
literally
business.
our business.
So-
If you intend to bring legal action against me, then I want my lawyer, and I don't have to tell you anything.
Fair enough.
Who is
So-
your lawyer, by the way? Is it a tiefling lady? Very
is the
Yeah, how did you know?
is the reason for burning the warehouse down for personal gain or for protection?
I'm not talking to you until I have your guarantee.
All right. Well, we
do we need anything else? Because we already know.
Excuse me.
Don't actually need. I don't think we actually like legally from this point don't need anything else. We have confirmation.
Yeah. Take a step back. Everyone, Scandalin, a moment. And then sotto voce.
Shafafana, get over here.
Yes, everybody huddle up. Scandalin, do you have the ability to send a message to someone at the company?
How close are we to the company building?
Like 20 minutes away by walking.
I do not have message, no.
I have message, but it's too far.
Sending.
I don't have sending.
No, I do not.
In specific cases like this, because we haven't had a case like this yet, do we immediately contact the authorities?
I mean, it really depends on what you want to do. So you, at this point, you have enough evidence that you could reasonably say, well, we're just going to deny the claim, right?
And we could also take this information to the city watch because
Yeah,
this
so-
is definitely a waste of city resources. So
That's-
she's definitely in for some legal action.
Well, I mean, it's not a waste of, well, sort of.
Putting
The
it
fire
out.
brigade.
Yeah, I mean, so it's up to you what you want to do.
what is company policy in this specific instance?
Company policy in this instance would generally be, so the company doesn't like to waste money.
Yes.
So whether or not you would want to bring a legal case against her would be based on how certain that you were that you could win said case and how much you would be able to get out of her for damages. Considering that you didn't actually pay out anything, so there's no money to recoup, you know, yeah, it's a waste of public resources, but I mean, the fire
That would
brigade,
be more the city's responsibility to sue for rather than
exactly,
us.
and so you could pass that information along if you wanted, and they could do something with it. But without more information to really prove that this was attempted fraud, you're probably not in a situation where you're going to be able to get a lot of money out of her.
But we can bring this to the city.
Oh yeah, I mean you can pass the information
If we
along
choose,
to the city
yeah.
for sure.
Okay, I will turn around and go, ma'am,
Okay, great.
I will guarantee you that our organization will not press charges against you if you tell us why you did this.
Make me a deception check.
No, that was truthful.
check. That's
It's
true.
truthful, but it's skirting the truth if your intention is to provide.
You got 2 guarantees now.
This is deception. All right.
But we can guarantee
Okay, so That's a 27.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
Whoa!
Plus 9 to deception, y'all.
Oh my God. All right.
Girl, see, this is why she's my favorite. I love you all, but she's my favorite.
All right.
That's why she's in HR. She can get people to take the jobs.
So she just goes, okay. All right, yes. A friend did me a favor to set the fire.
I take notes.
I didn't really want to do it, but, well, the warehouse was burning down one way or another, and it was better for me to do it this way and at least get paid for it.
Why was it going to be burned down either way?
I was approached by someone who told me that I either set the fire myself and had the opportunity to move my stock and make the claim, and that they would also pay me, or they would set the fire and I would get nothing.
Who was this individual, ma'am?
I don't
And do
know.
I believe her?
I don't know. I mean, you can make an insight check if you want.
I mean, she still is under the...
Oh, that's right. Yeah, she is still under zone of truth.
Yeah, but she's shifty as heck.
Yeah, but she's under zone of truth, so she can't tell a
She's
direct
shifty
lie.
as a mother lover, though. Was
I never saw their face.
18. Is she laying it all on the line, or some of it's missing?
She seems to be telling the truth.
Okay.
Now, you're not sure how much more there is to the story, but what she said so far is definitely true.
Were there any other
Tell us the rest.
distinguishing features about this person or group that approached you? Any emblems, any jewelry they wore, anything like that?
I mean, they wore this long black cloak that covered them head to foot. I honestly don't even know what gender they were, or if they were even a physical being. They sent me a note that said that I needed to come meet them, or else bad things would happen. And so I went and met them, and that was when they basically, I don't want to call it an offer, but threatened me.
Yeah, threatened.
Into doing this. And those were my options. And they were pretty scary. I mean, how often do you meet someone who is wearing all black and you can't see their face? And
like every week.
So, yeah, I mean, I did it.
So what's going to happen now?
I don't know. I mean, they didn't say I couldn't tell you anything. So I'm guessing I won't get paid for this claim, but at least I have the money that they gave me. I don't know if they'll demand it back. I don't really know what they wanted out of this.
Okay.
All right, well, ma'am, we will be denying your claim. Have a nice day. I'm sorry for the situation.
And I look at everyone and I go,
Well, that was easy.
Can I do an Arcana check to see if her description reminds me of anything that I might have seen or studied?
Yeah, you can do Arcana or history or anything of that nature, whatever you want to roll.
Okay, Arcana
I'd like
gets
to
me
do
the
one as
plus
well.
4.
Sure.
I'll go.
I got a +6.
I'll go for Arcana.
Okay.
I have +8. Can I do one?
Yeah.
Yes, please. Let's go.
Okay, that would be a 23.
Oh, ooh.
Yeah, 23.
22, 23. Okay. Okay.
I got nothing.
So there are, and particularly you, Red, would know this, but Scandal on 2 to some degree. Mildred, this is probably just something you read in a book somewhere.
I rolled a 2. I got nothing.
Oh, you got nothing. Oh, I think it's 23. Yeah, so I guess it makes sense that Red and Scandalon are the two that would have some familiarity with this, given your backgrounds. There are a lot of eldritch creatures and beings that are capable of or commonly appear in such fashion. They tend to go by very enigmatic names, and their motives are usually pretty cloudy, but never good. And Scandalon, you in particular, knowing that you had some bad encounters with an eldritch being already being involved with the company, you're not sure that this is necessarily something related to mayhem, but it does definitely seem like the company is a magnet for stuff like this.
Yeah.
What I miss?
Bless you.
Missed mayhem. You missed more mayhem.
Sneeze all that chaos out.
Sorry, I'm allergic to upper management. What's going on?
There's none here.
Maybe
She's
she's
the head of
allergic.
HR.
Yeah, you're
Maybe.
allergic to yourself.
Maybe she's allergic to red.
The color?
Or Shmanamana.
Kafoff, snap, sniff, sniff, sniff.
It's like 15
Phenomena.
seconds long.
Okay. So some sort of eldritch creature similar origin to mayhem. Then.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, mayhem would just be one
It's what it
example of a
seems
creature
like.
that this could be.
Yeah. Interesting. Now, why would they want to destroy?
A yarn shop.
It just hit me that mayhem is a reference to that commercial.
Yes,
that
he
just
is.
hit me.
Yes, it absolutely is.
The board was totally not insurance mascots. What would give you that idea?
I didn't even like, once you said that, I didn't like say, okay, what are the mascots now? I would just like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, anyways, sorry.
So,
I'm glad it took you 3 hours to figure that out, though. That's
There
really
must
wonderful.
there must be something about this location
What else is
that
around
they're
here?
wanting or interested in.
This is like the heart of the trade ward. So there's all kinds of businesses and warehouses in this area.
So right across the street, you said there's a gruntled cat.
Mm-hmm.
What's on either side of the spot?
There are other warehouses on either side.
Okay.
Do we know
Nice
who
visit.
owns them or what?
Not
owned?
offhand, but you could probably go poke your head in there and ask around if you wanted.
Fafana says that they think the only thing to do now, and I'm only saying this because it's just repeating the question, is to burn the warehouses adjacent down. I don't think this is a good idea, but I just wanted them to stop.
Well, let's table that for a minute. What's in back of the former yarn shop?
The other side of the alley.
The yarn shop backs onto, well, the warehouse backs onto, we'll say some kind of factory. Hard to tell exactly what it is.
Okay.
But you could go in and look.
All right.
And I'm going to actually stop us here while you're trying to figure out what you want to do, because it is almost 10:30. So this will give us a minute or two to do some quick outros. So we will continue with this new and exciting mystery next week.
Woo!
Woo!
I love this. I love it.
And so we will go ahead and go around and everyone tell us who you are, what you're doing, where we can find you, any other fun and exciting information that you wish to share. And Poppy, we'll start with you. Poppy?
Oh, sorry.
Puppy.
I am much like Poppy in that I am a human disaster. So I am, like I said before, Asbestos Tinos on Twitter. And, ow. That's it.
That's it?
I have nothing right now. I just started a new job, which is wonderful, but I don't have time to do anything, unfortunately, else right now. This is amazing. I'm shouting it everywhere. I hope some of the people I tried to force to watch stayed to watch tonight, because it was hysterical. So
Yeah, y'all broke me. I had to, take the glasses off and wipe the tears.
yeah, this was
Bomb.
good stuff. But yeah, no, I have nothing to share, unfortunately, right now. I wish I did. But
Okay. Robert.
All right. Well, during the week, tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, adjust your time zones accordingly. I have my weekly Skyrim serial. Currently, I'm at the beginning of a new series called The Dark Thalmor, where a member of the Thalmor is trying to gather every single Daedric artifact he can find and may eventually end up joining a group called the Dark Brotherhood. Saturday nights at 7, or actually Friday, go further. Friday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern, I'm in a RPG group on Rule Zero Gaming. It's three of us adventurers having a good time with that one. Saturday night, 7 p.m., I have Saving Throw Wrestling, where I have DMs, GMs, and RPG players from all over the Twitch universe that meet inside the wrestling ring known as the Dice Tray. And they have their own WWE 2K19 universe, and we have matches with them every week. On Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, I am on Tales from the Grim, where we are doing Star Trek Continuing Missions, where I'm playing the science officer on the ship by the name of Malachi Jabez. He is a joined Trill. And then Tuesday nights is my Lego stream, 6 p.m. Eastern, where we get together and we kick some bricks. We're currently finishing up the DC Supervillains game, and we'll be looking forward to see which one we move towards next. Awesome. Otherwise, Cancer Cleric by day, RPG fanboy by night.
Jake.
First of all, thank you for having me. And I had a lot of fun with you all. You can find me on Twitter at Jake Friday and Instagram at Jake of the Friday. I, up until last month, was running a game on the channel Venture Ventures. We will be starting again in maybe next week, maybe the week after. We're going to start the module or the adventure Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus with one new player, but the rest of the players will be the same that we're playing before, so it should be fun. Just reading through the adventure, it sounds like it's going to be super fun. So yeah, if you're interested in seeing that, follow me on the social media stuff.
Awesome. And Cynthia.
I am theoretically on Twitter as I am Cinchu, but I haven't remembered to log in there for a few weeks, so we'll see what happens. But on on Monday afternoons at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, and 8 p.m. UTC, I'm running through with a lovely group on the Fox and Penguin show on Twitch. We're doing Dungeon of the Mad Mage. I think the DM is homebrewing some of it because some of the situations don't really apply to our group somehow. I don't understand how, but okay. But I'm on there playing a goblin rogue, and she's my precious little bean, and I love her. And I'm so glad we're back. I missed you all.
Oh.
And Jake, the next time you don't play with us, I will miss you too, because I've decided I quite like you.
No, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes, thank you all for coming back. I appreciate that. And thank you, Jake, for joining us. I appreciate that too.
Yeah. Welcome aboard.
Yes, very much. I hope you had a good, fun first episode.
I did.
I'm Danielle, your friendly neighborhood GM. I do a lot of things. So you can catch me here, obviously, for Dungeons and Deductibles. On Friday nights, you can also catch me here where I am a player. I play Harmony Ward, Wizard, and Accidental Arsonist in our Welcome to Portland Dresden Files RPG game, where we are currently trying to not let a war break out between the vampires and the Winter Court. On Saturdays, I am over on at Other Doc's channel, where I play in the Edge of Paradox, an Invisible Sun game. And there I play Vormir Ivanis, who is a weaver and a gambler and a really charismatic person. And on Tuesdays, I run a different game called The Choir of Elements, and that's on at Scraticus's channel. It is also a 5e D&D game, but a very high-level one. They are Tier 3 characters, where they are currently romping around the elemental planes, trying to track down the person who traded away their friend to a red dragon. So good times. So if you enjoy anything like that, you can come follow me, watch me there. Otherwise, you can follow me on Twitter or Instagram. As always, as well, if you enjoyed this show and you like it, would ask that you support the channel. Variant Roles has been very kind in picking us up for our season 2. All of the information for the Patreon is down below us. And we also have really great shows that happen here every week. So just for example, tomorrow night is Monty Cook Games mixtape night. I believe they are playing Invisible Sun this week. And Friday night, in addition to the Dresden Files game that plays at 8 p.m., there's also Courts of the Shadow Fae, which is on at 5. So plus, we have something going on every night. So if you love TTRPGs, come hang out. We'd love to have you. That's it for us for tonight. But we will see you all same time, same bat channel next week to figure out what is going on with this weird request to burn down a warehouse. Stay tuned and we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Good night.